I have a special story with Father Tran. Father John Tran was the pastor there. And I remember when I first met him, and I cantored one day, and he affirmed my ability to lead the congregation in song. And I was very excited to be there because of his affirmation and the fact that I was going to join the music ministry there and help it grow. And I said to him, I really feel like the Lord sent me here. And he looked at me and he said, and when he tells you to leave, you will leave.
Wow.
I'm like, that's a strange thing to say, but
yeah,
fast forward a year and a half, St. Faustina is now announced. The new church in Fulshire is beginning. And I remember heart palpitations because here I started, we were really getting the groove on this music group. We were like solid. We were excited about it, but they were switching pastors at the time. Everybody knows this story that was at St. Bart's. There was a lot of turmoil because Father John was leaving and Father whoever was coming, and where are you going? Which church? So I remember going to Father Tran's going away party or whatever. And I went up to him and I sat down. I sat down next to him. No one else was around. And I said, I don't know what to do. We live in Fulshire and I don't know if I should go there. And he looked at me and he said, you and Pat are in Cross Creek. I said, Cross Creek Ranch. He said, you and Pat live in Cross Creek Ranch? I said, yes. He said, you must go help Father Dat. He's going to need you. I'm like, okay.
Do you think he knew like early on when you first joined that he told you that,
No, I think that was just his way, like follow the Lord, do what he tells you. And when he tells you, just do it, And I was like, but I remembered and I'm like, oh, wow, this is like significant. So then I wrote Father Dat a letter all about my past experiences and how my husband and I had landed in Cross Creek Ranch. And we have this big Divine Mercy picture in our foyer now in our new home from Pat. And suddenly we're going to have a St. Faustina church. What? So my heart wanted to go, but I only wanted to go if it was God's will.
Of course.
So I put the letter out there. I said, if you need me, let me know and we'll pray together. And didn't hear anything. I went on vacation during the town hall meetings that he had. I wasn't at any of those because I was up at the camp in upstate New York for a couple of weeks. I kept checking my email, never got a response from him. So I thought, okay, I'm staying at St. Bartholomew. This is the sign. When I got home, shortly after that, Father Dat, dear Dodie, I have misplaced this email and I am so very sorry. We must get together. So something like that. So I'm like, okay. So I went over to St. Bartholomew where he was meeting with people. And I remember being in just a real state of openness. Like, Lord, I'm letting you lead this. And we had a conversation. He took my hands and he said, I know this doesn't sound right, but I desperately need you.
Wow.
And I said, okay. I went into the Adoration Chapel after that. I remember kneeling in front of the tabernacle and just praising like no one was in there. It's supposed to have someone in there all the time during the exposition. There was a lady on the phone outside the chapel and a small child sitting in the back of the chapel. So I thought, well, there's one person in here, but the adult was gone. I was free. I just started singing and just songs were coming into my head that I hadn't sung in years. And I just worshiped. And it was just right. So,
and this was at St. Bart.
Yeah. Well, yes, during the discernment process. So that's when I met you and others that were gathering at Sally and Pete's house to start. I met Sally and Pete, and then we started the rehearsals and forming choir. So.
Okay, so you didn't know Sally and Pete
I didn't. Father Dapp brought Sally and I together. We were the two people that he had information on that had led music in the previous parishes. Okay. And he wanted us to get to know one another.
I always thought you knew each other.
No, but we bonded right away.
Yes.
We did because we had similar stories of using our music to serve the Lord and always loving the Lord our whole lives. And then Pete, Pete's story and it touched him, the story about my son and he's Pete and my son was Peter and we just bonded. It was a beautiful time.
I had always thought that you'd known each other because you two work so well together.
Well, Yeah. So God used that. And then, of course, JM came in and we all started to work together, and quickly the parish grew. And so all of that was really great. And, until we came into the new building, and I still remember that amazing, amazing first mass that we had with the cardinal and the huge choir we had up to that point. It
Now,
doesn't look the same now, but at that time, what did we have? 30 people with instruments, and it was just really a special time.
I remember telling Antonio when he was here on the show, when we walked in to that first practice, it was just amazing how much talent was in the room.
Oh yeah.
A lot of time. I remember Andrew saying, when he had to leave Texas, he said, "I've never been to a parish where there's just this much talent in terms of music." And I was shocked at how good everybody was. And when we got everything together, like, you and Sally and JM and Trey, and then just working all the music out, it was just amazing. Amazing.
It really was. And during that time too, we were beginning small Christian communities in the parish. So my husband Pat and I were invited to participate at Pete and Sally's house because we'd already gotten to know each other quite well, and some of the other people that were working together. So that was another layer of settling in here in Fulshire, getting to be more involved at St. Faustina, feeling like I had new friends, new spiritual friends. That's always been very important to me, to have people to pray with and care about you.